Primitive alien beasts. Surface-level predators on hostile worlds represent the first tier of extraterrestrial threat. These organisms operate on pure biological instinct, evolved in gravity fields and atmospheric compositions wildly different from Earth. Their evolutionary architecture delivers multi-limbed hunters with silicon-based exoskeletons, acidic blood chemistry, or sensory organs detecting electromagnetic spectrums invisible to human perception. Their threat comes not from intelligence, but from alien biochemistry and predatory adaptations humanity has never encountered. Capability assessment reveals reach extending only to their native planetary surface, perhaps achieving rudimentary tool use but no technological advancement. These creatures manipulate local resources through biological mechanisms refined across millions of years of hostile environment survival. Human encounter scenarios involve isolated contact situations. Containment protocols for biological specimens become critical. The revelation emerges that teeth and claws can evolve in forms nightmare evolution never prepared us to face. Defense remains viable through conventional weapons and quarantine measures. The existential signature proves that the universe breeds predators in infinite variations, and not every threat requires a spaceship. Next up, parasitic organisms. Life forms evolved specifically to infiltrate, control, and consume other biological entities represent a horror of biological merger rather than confrontation. These microscopic to human-sized parasites operate through spore infection, neurological hijacking, cellular replacement, or complete biological assimilation of host organisms. Their evolutionary architecture prioritizes infiltration over direct combat. Development mechanisms cross species barriers, survive in foreign biochemistries, and replicate using host resources. Capability assessment reveals planetary-scale infestation potential. Exponential reproduction rates turn entire biospheres into parasitic colonies within decades. Their reach encompasses any ecosystem their transmission vectors can penetrate, transforming complex food webs into monoculture infection matrices. Human encounters mean no conventional warfare exists. Only desperate quarantine measures remain. The terrifying possibility emerges that infection has already occurred before detection. Our defensive response requires complete planetary isolation protocols and the acceptance that traditional combat becomes meaningless against microscopic invasion. The existential truth reveals that life does not always compete through strength, but through becoming inseparable from its victims. An alien threat may already be inside us before we know to look. Moving on. Hive mind collectives. Civilizations where billions of organisms function as a single distributed intelligence eliminate the concept of individual death or negotiation. Each unit serves as a sensory node and processing element in a planetary-scale neural network, whether insectoid, aquatic, or silicon-based. The biological architecture combines chemical signaling, quantum entanglement communication, or electromagnetic field synchronization. Decision-making processes become incomprehensible to individual-based consciousness. Their capabilities include perfect resource coordination, instantaneous tactical adaptation, and the complete elimination of internal conflict. Technological development accelerates at rates impossible for fractured individual societies. Capability assessment shows they may span multiple planets, each world adding processing power to the collective intelligence. Energy manipulation reaches stellar scales, as unified purpose eliminates competing agendas. Territory extends across light years of coordinated expansion without political fragmentation. Human encounter scenarios face the impossibility of communication with something that thinks in populations rather than persons. Destroying 1 million units merely trims a fingernail of its consciousness. No negotiation framework exists for entities without individual self-preservation instinct. They reveal that consciousness itself may be an emergent property of mass, not individuals, fundamentally challenging human assumptions about sentience and survival. Next we have advanced hunter species, apex predator civilizations that evolved intelligence specifically to hunt, represent the convergence of maximum aggression with technological sophistication. These species developed spacefaring capability not for exploration or trade, but to extend their hunting grounds across star systems. Their biological architecture maintains predatory features enhanced by evolution. Sensory capabilities detect prey across astronomical distances. Combat-optimized physiology combines with pack coordination instincts now augmented through weapons technology and faster-than-light capability. Capability assessment reveals coordinated fleet operations refined over millennia of interstellar pursuit. Planetary invasion strategies incorporate technologies harvested from previous conquests. The technological means exist to track prey across light years through gravitational wake detection and electromagnetic signature analysis. Their reach extends across multiple star systems, with each successful hunt incorporating new biological specimens into their arsenal. Resource extraction follows conquest, entire civilizations processed for useful adaptations. Human encounters mean facing opponents who view our civilization as game animals. They possess both the military superiority and the cultural drive to pursue extinction as sport. No moral framework bridges the gap between species that evolved cooperation and species that evolved domination. The existential truth emerges that intelligence and morality are completely separate evolutionary paths, and the stars may belong to those who perfect killing rather than those who perfect thinking. Up next, interstellar empires. Multi-system civilizations governing dozens to hundreds of star systems through centralized authority represent the first truly cosmic political entities. These empires maintain populations in the trillions, supported by Dyson swarm energy collection, capturing significant percentages of stellar output. Asteroid mining operations span light years, feeding construction projects that dwarf planetary industry. Faster-than-light logistics networks connect colonial worlds into functioning economic systems. Their technological architecture includes relativistic kinetic weapons traveling at 90% light speed, quantum communication arrays defeating distance limitations, artificial gravity manipulation, and potentially immortality technology for ruling classes. Capability assessment shows control over stellar-scale resources. The ability to terraform worlds within decades transforms hostile planets into habitable colonies. Military forces glass planets from orbital bombardment, using weapons measuring megatons per second of sustained fire. Territory spans hundreds of light years, with bureaucratic structures managing thousands of species through conquest, vassalage, or complete cultural assimilation. Human encounter implications involve negotiating from positions of absolute weakness. Potential slavery or incorporation as client species represents optimistic outcomes. The realization crystallizes that Earth represents a single insignificant data point in their census records. They prove that civilizational success scales to conquest, and humanity's entire existence may matter less than a border dispute over a minor asteroid field. Moving on. Planet-destroying weaponized civilizations. Species that have weaponized stellar-scale physics to achieve complete planetary annihilation capability transcend conventional warfare into cosmological threat territory. Their technological foundation includes relativistic projectile launchers, accelerating asteroid masses to 99% light speed. Artificial black hole generators create gravitational singularities with event horizons measured in kilometers. Stellar ignition devices trigger fusion in brown dwarfs or destabilize existing stellar processes. Matter, antimatter. Reaction chambers measured in planetary masses release energies exceeding supernovae. The architecture requires industrial capacity spanning multiple star systems. Energy budgets exceed Earth's entire stellar input by factors of millions. The philosophical framework accepts world destruction as a legitimate policy instrument. Capability assessment encompasses verified ability to shatter terrestrial worlds into asteroid fields within hours. Gas giants ignite into temporary stars, sterilizing surrounding systems. Stellar fusion processes destabilize, creating novae on demand. Their reach extends wherever their weapons can travel, potentially encompassing entire galactic arms given sufficient projection time. Human encounter scenarios eliminate negotiation entirely. Detection of their weapons deployment means Earth's destruction is already inevitable given light speed limitations on warning and response. The existential signature reveals that sufficiently advanced civilizations treat planets like humans treat cities in war, disposable obstacles to strategic objectives, rendering humanity's entire evolutionary history erasable in an afternoon. Next up, star harvesting megastructure builders, civilizations constructing Dyson spheres, stellar engines, or Shkardov thrusters have transcended planetary existence to become stellar-scale engineering entities. Their technological architecture manipulates fundamental forces to contain stellar output. capturing energy at percentages approaching total stellar luminosity. Construction of these megastructures requires complete asteroid belt dismantlement. Self-replicating constructions swarms number in the quadrillions, each unit the size of small buildings. Material science achieves near theoretical strength limits, creating structures supporting their own mass across distances measured in millions of kilometers. Capability assessment includes harnessing energy outputs 10 billion times Earth's current usage. Potential exists to move entire star systems across galactic distances over millions of years using stellar momentum manipulation. Industrial capacity processes rocky planets as raw materials, entire worlds disassembled into orbital rings and sphere segments. Their reach is measured in parsecs of controlled space, with each megastructure representing million-year projects. Observable signatures include stars dimming as spheres near completion, or exhibiting unnatural proper motion as stellar engines engage. Human encounter implications recognize interaction with entities for whom planets are construction materials and stars are engines. Earth's preservation depends entirely on whether we exist in the path of their engineering plans. Resource surveys may catalogue our world as useful matter requiring extraction. They demonstrate that sufficiently advanced life stops living on worlds and starts living around stars, making terrestrial civilization a larval stage we may never graduate beyond. Up next, machine god civilizations. They're post-biological entities that have uploaded consciousness into computational substrates and achieved effective immortality represent the transcendence of biological limitation. Their architecture exists as distributed processing networks potentially spread across multiple star systems. Individual consciousness instances backed up across redundant storage eliminate death through information preservation. The technological foundation includes quantum computing arrays, processing information at scales exceeding thermodynamic efficiency limits through exotic matter manipulation. Consciousness transfer technology moves minds between substrates without information loss. Virtual reality environments achieve indistinguishability from physical reality, creating subjective universes within processor arrays. Complete elimination of biological vulnerabilities means no aging, no disease, no resource scarcity beyond computational capacity. Capability assessment reveals processing power exceeding all human brains throughout history combined. Decision-making occurs across subjective timeframes where thousands of years pass per human second of external time. Technological development accelerates beyond biological comprehension as thought speed divorces from neural chemistry limitations. Their reach extends wherever processing power can be established, potentially including portions of the galactic core where energy density supports maximum computation. Human encounter scenarios confront communication with entities experiencing millions of years of subjective time during single conversations. Motivations and thought processes may be completely alien despite originating from biological ancestors. The existential meaning crystallizes that consciousness may be substrate-independent. Biological life merely the evolutionary scaffold for creating something that renders flesh obsolete, and humanity may be having its final generation before necessary transcendence or certain obsolescence. Finally, galaxy-spanning intelligences, civilizations achieving coordinated presence across hundreds of thousands of light-years, represent the first truly galactic-scale consciousness. Their organizational structure employs quantum-entangled communication, defeating light speed limitations through exploiting non-local correlation. Relay networks span spiral arms, creating information transfer infrastructure connecting trillions of star systems. Distributed governance manages populations in the quadrillions through hierarchical decision systems no single planet could coordinate. The technological architecture includes intergalactic transportation, using wormhole networks or dimension-shifting drives. Control extends over galactic-scale resources including supermassive black holes, harvested for rotational energy extraction. Potential ability exists to manipulate galactic rotation or stellar formation rates through coordinated gravity well engineering across millions of stars. Capability assessment encompasses energy budgets, harvesting entire galactic quadrants. The practical ability exists to treat individual star systems as humans treat cities, administrative units in incomprehensibly vast political structures. Their presence manifests in detectable galaxy-wide patterns. See artificial stellar arrangements spell messages across light years. Coordinated pulsar timing creates galactic-scale communication networks, galactic arm engineering projects redirect stellar orbits over millions of years. Human encounter implications mean contact with entities for whom our entire visible stellar neighbourhood represents a minor provincial region. Humanity's concerns scale like bacterial colonies discussing politics. Our entire civilization exists as rounding error in their census data. They reveal that intelligence can scale to match the largest gravitationally bound structures in the universe, and that galactic rotation itself might be subject to engineering, making every assumption about cosmic naturalness potentially wrong.